Off the Stones, episode number 4. We've been trying all night long to record the song. Off the Stones, no need to leave so soon. We got Jeff for you to talk some songs.
What the hell? Get out of my chair.
Oh, sorry.
That's
sorry.
my chair.
That's your chair?
That's my
Okay,
chair.
sorry.
Get out of my chair. God dang it. God. You get in your chair now.
Can I have my headphones at least?
Take here.
Okay, thank you.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. Like 500 Stones. We got a great episode for you guys today. Last week we I don't know, there was some fighting.
Yeah, there was some bickering. There was definitely some curses.
There was a lot of curses. I mean, that's what happens when you have Bill on, though, to be honest with you. A lot of wrong takes, in my opinion. You called Sly and the Family Stone a disco band.
Yes, because there can't be any separation between disco and funk, or there has to be disco or funk. No in between.
Well, you know who I think knows the real difference between disco and funk? One of our favorite guests that we've ever had. That's one Big Papa Jeff Varju. Hey,
what's up? Yo, it is so awesome. First of all, you got me in, but favorite guest, that's quite the honor. Now I have quite the reputation to live up to, and I'm gonna fail miserably at it. So why don't we go down in flames, everybody? So let's make this interesting.
Lay you down on a bed of
roses. Is this because you're in America now? You feel like you need to let your inner Jersey out now? So it's the best.
No. What did I start?
Well, here. Oh my God. You know what? You're finally gonna start liking Bruce Springsteen. Oh, I'm excited now.
You better take him to Asbury Park and show him the birthplace.
Oh, I'm gonna take him. Oh, I'm taking him to the Stone Pony. Absolutely. But unfortunately, he's not in this section of the list. So, but let's get started with this list. Otherwise, formally at number 384 on the Rolling Stone Top 500 2010s list, we have Another Brick in the Wall Part 2 by Pink Floyd. I'm going to start us off by saying this is one of those songs that I'm really shocked fell off the list. Not because I'm saying like, oh, it's one of my favorite songs of all time, or I personally think it's one of the greatest songs of all time, but it's one of those that it's just like a cultural, like, landmark in music. Like, people still talk about this to this day. They still talk about the album, The Wall. I hear so many people doing like the "We Don't Need No Education" part. So. And I do really like this song a lot. I think that this is a fantastic song. Just, I'm surprised mainly from a cultural touchstone level that this isn't even on the current list. Jeff, what about you?
I mean, it goes on record. I'm not the biggest Pink Floyd fan, but I appreciate The Wall and the album that it is. This is just one of those songs for me that I think is just kind of ruined by mainstream rock radio. That it feels like they feel like they have to play this like on a constant loop along with Comfortably Numb, and it loses a little bit each time I listen to it. But still, at the heart of it, it is a good song. It does tie into the bigger thing, and what works best, even with a song off of a concept album, it works as a standalone song that you don't need to have any knowledge of to really understand it and get a feel for it. So it's one of the better Pink Floyd songs. It's one I can enjoy enough, just as long as you don't get you can't have your meat unless you have any pudding. So how could you have your pudding?
I was just gonna remind you, you suffer yet, so you no, you can't have any pudding if you don't eat your pudding.
How can you have your pudding if you can't eat your meat?
If you don't have any meat. Brooklyn, I don't know where you go from that. Jeff talked about the best part of the song.
I mean, that is kind of the best part where every casual fan kind of goes from it. But what I feel like if this was marketed similar to other songs on the list, like there are other songs that had like part 1 and part 2. I think the part 1 helps it a lot, especially getting to that flip. And there's a lot of like eeriness to it. But if we're just talking about part 2 itself, it's great. I love that. Like the bass line in this is super catchy. The guitar is just
That
Like,
fun
it's
little
not-
like
it's not
jazzy bam, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum.
overstaying its welcome or whatever. And then like lyrically, it's very simplistic. But it's a line that everybody relates to. All in all, you're just another brick in the wall. Like everybody wants to be super, but if everybody's super, then nobody is. Incredibles references. But yeah, The Wall is also an incredible record. I had to debate it against Caleb Owen one time. And yeah, I recommend listening to it, but only from start to finish. That is the only way that
Yes.
you can digest that album.
Okay. Fun fact: I've never listened to The Wall.
Give it a listen. It's you have to listen to it from front to back. You know, it tells a really grand story. The movie, whoo, that's an experience.
I want to see that one so bad, actually. Animation by the same guy who did the animation design for Hercules. Count me in.
You ain't gonna see Hercules, I'll tell you now.
Oh, okay, I'm out. I'm out. Also, fun fact: I believe this is the only song that Pink Floyd ever released to hit #1 on the Billboard charts.
That makes sense because I don't think
it would. No,
whatever.
that or like
No.
Wish You Were Here. I don't think either.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't think that they're really a #1 Billboard song kind of band. But,
Yeah.
all right, let's move on to what used to be number 383 on the list, which is "Brown Eyed Handsome Man" by Chuck Berry. Brooklyn, you had some thoughts on this one.
Yeah, so on the drive home, we were listening to it, and I was like, man, I kind of like this more than the Johnny Be Good. Maybe not as much as Maybelline, but I kind of like the tension that it built. Not the tension, but how the tempo kind of picks up ever so slightly throughout it, and I think it just kind of separates it because Chuck Berry, and especially in that time frame, they were definitely like, let's just do what we do in rockabilly blues. And it just kind of there's a state like what is it a staleness? Yeah, it's a little stale at times. But I would love to come back to this every now and again, just to remind myself that Chuck Berry has other songs than Johnny Be Good.
It's a Chuck Berry song. It sounds like a lot of Chuck Berry songs. That's not to say that it sounds bad, because Chuck Berry songs still sound really good. But for me personally, it doesn't quite have that thing that separates it, like Johnny Be Good does, like Maybelline does. So I appreciate the craftsmanship of this song. But it's one when I listen to it, I'm like, that's a Chuck Berry song, and I don't really think much else of it, unfortunately. I can understand why this one's no longer on the list itself. But what about you, Jeff? Do you think I'm crazy?
No, I mean, I think the jury's out on this one. You know, it's a Chuck Berry song. I mean, it's nothing really that stands out from it. Nothing that really sets it apart from like a Maybelline or from it. Hold on, buddy. It wouldn't be an appearance without any of my kids.
Hi, buddy.
But you know, like it's standard fare of what you expect from Chuck Berry. You know, I mean, he was one of the pioneers in shaping what modern rock guitar music is. So you have to respect it for that. But looking at it based on the merit of even being a Chuck Berry song, it's fine. It's the same shtick, you know, from him. So for me, it was just kind of like, I can see why it was omitted, but it's an okay song.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you on this one. However, when it comes to number 382, "Wonderful World" by Sam Cooke, complete opposite end of the spectrum. I freaking love this song. I have a colleague from college that I went with, and he's obsessed with this song. He would play it all the time whenever we would drive off to the Wawa together to get a hoagie.
You mean a hoagie?
Yeah, a hoagie.
Get your Delco better, son.
I'm sorry, we went to the hoagie to get a in Mount Laurel to get a Coke Zero.
That's better. We'll get a water ice while you're at it. Get a half a hoagie.
Oh yeah, we got to take you to get a Rita's water ice.
It's not water, it's water. You're east side now, Brooklyn. You know what water ice is. It's some cheesesteak, whiz wit or whiz wit out.
We got him a cheesesteak.
Where did you go? More importantly,
Max's.
Okay, I can respect you.
Yeah. I'm not taking him to Patrigino's. That's not a real.
That's the tourist shops. You know,
Thank you.
If when it comes to the Torres cheesesteaks, everybody, Geno's is better than Pat's. But if you want a real Philly cheesesteak,
disagree.
No one's even talking to you. You're not even from the area.
I'm from just outside of West Philly. Calm down now.
But were you born and raised in West Philadelphia?
Okay. So with that, we're talking about "Wonderful World" by Sam Cooke, not the glory of the Philly cheesesteak. The best sandwich on the planet. But
Amen, brother.
no, Sam Cooke is as I think I said before when we were talking about Cupid, how it's like just his voice is just like the richest, most soulful voice. It's like him and Otis Redding. Like if you asked me who the most soulful voice of all time is, it's a 2-horse race between the two of them. And it's also just like it's simplistic, but it's done in such an artistic way that it's just gorgeous. Like I don't know much about history or biology or how the way the world works or anything like that.
No, that's you're like,
yeah. But like, if there's one thing I do know in this world, I do know that I love you. Which is just like
you're
like
if Google Translate just read that song right now. There was not an ounce of soul in that at all.
I wasn't. Well, first of all,
2
I
out of
wasn't.
10.
First of all, I wasn't trying. Second of all, I'm white, so it doesn't help. But yeah, it's just like it's a simple song, but it's so sweet in how it's crafted. Jeff, you seemed to really enjoy the song as well.
So before we hit record, I said like there were some songs on here that were like my all-time favorites. This is one of my all-time favorite songs right here.
Okay.
Sam Cooke is one of those voices that is just, he hits you. Like it just instantly puts you in a good mood. It instantly warms the soul. His lyrics, while they're not anything like mind-blowing or crazy analogies or anything like that, it's simple and it's sweet and it's to the point, and that's why it works so well. And this is one of those songs that it's just, you feel the range in his voice, you feel the emotion, you feel everything he's saying. It's just, I can't say any more about this song because it's just, it's one of the perfect ways to say I love you to somebody or to give like an endearing sentiment. So for this, you can't get any better than this one.
Brooklyn, you're a romantic. What are your thoughts on this?
I am a romantic. And also to talk about people that were born in West Philadelphia. This opens the movie Hitch. So whenever
it does.
Whenever I hear the song, that's all that I think about.
That's 2 Will Smith movie references in a row. You talked about Shark Tale.
No, that's spoilers.
Okay.
We want to incentivize our casual viewers to go back.
Okay.
And figure out which
like and subscribe to Video Kids.
Oh, that reminds me. Thank you so much, Jeff. Buy our shit.
Buy our shit.
Go ahead, Brooklyn.
No, that's it.
I thought you were going to talk about this. This is one of the greatest songs ever made, Brooklyn.
And all you think about is that mad Will Smith comedy from 2004.
It's not a mad Will Smith comedy. It is a good, not great Will Smith comedy. But no, it's
so
like,
mad.
The production's great in it, I guess. The strings are good. You were talking about the lyrics and how they're not very subtle, but that's kind of the point. Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what just happened here. In fact, I can't explain.
Can't explain.
By The Who, number 3. Jeff, what are your thoughts on this one?
So, The Who's a band that I think I have more of an affinity for than most people, because like when you think of like those like British invasion bands, I think The Who doesn't get enough respect.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I feel like they add quite a bit more than people really let on to believe with some of the most amazing drumming from that period. It is just incredible. I just had a Windows update. I had to click off quick. So
You're good.
Yeah. But yeah, I can't explain though. This is this is like the standard fare of what you expected from like an early era Who song. It's short. it punches you with a nice, good, distorted, like 45 amp sound from them. And it's just catchy. That's all you need. You need a catchy rock song with a catchy vocalist, some catchy guitar work. One more can you ask for?
Yeah, you can't really ask for more, and that's what I like about this song as well. It doesn't overstay its welcome, but I like the structure of how you would get like the line of a verse, and then the rest of the band just be like, "I can't explain." It's just like it's so ear grabbing.
It's an easy song to sing when you're hammered.
Oh my God! Especially if you're the ones doing just like the backing vocals, that's the perfect. Yeah, we need to go to a bar after this and just like try this.
What Philly bar are we going to?
We're Atlantic City. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, there we go. I'll meet you at the Showboat.
Oh yeah, come down to the.
It's only like the regatta. We're going to the regatta,
yeah. But yeah, no. The Who is one of my favorite bands of all time. If you ask me who my favorite British invasion band is, you might think it would be the Beatles. It's actually the Who.
Thank you.
And yeah, this song is dope. I love this song so much. Brooklyn.
Hey Mom, can we listen to a Who song where they repeat the title of the song multiple times? You mean My Generation? Is there another one? I can't explain, I guess.
Perfect.
Yeah, this is an idea that they've already done with My Generation. That song made it onto the list, and this one got cut off. So yeah, maybe we can explain.
Produce. I'm going to talk with our
producer man. You're fighting a good fight today.
I'm going to talk with him afterwards. Is that all you got?
Yeah.
Thank God.
I mean, that's all the song has. You can't explain what it is.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Okay. Let's. I'm moving on. Before things are thrown while we're actually in the same room. So
yeah,
there's a couple of bad things. Moving on to what was number 379 on the 2010 list, "The Wind Cries Mary" by the Jimi Hendrix Experience. I'm going to start with this one. I love the Jimi Hendrix Experience. I think that this is a great song. We kind of already have Little Wing on the official list. I think that this is like structured, like, of course Jimi Hendrix sounds great. Of course the instrumentation is amazing. The rest of the experience does not get enough credit because Jimi Hendrix is Jimi Hendrix. But they're playing fantastically. But honestly, as I said, we have Little Wing, and they're kind of very similar in that vibe kind of setting, that atmosphere. So while I think that this is a really great song, I'm totally okay with this one falling off the list, even though it's kind of iconic. Brooklyn, am I crazy or?
Yeah, you are a little bit crazy. I think these ones. I think this and Little Wings differ a little bit. Little Wings is, I think, a little more dynamic, especially like whenever the drums come in. I think this is like Jimi Hendrix's most like it's softest song. He has very soft delivery, and then like even that guitar riff is very silky smooth. You don't really get like the rest of you don't really get the rest of the band as much in this. It's more of a Jimmy kind of centerpiece. I would probably switch this one out with Purple Haze, just because I think the riff is what everyone goes for that one for.
Purple Haze is on the official.
But I'd swip this one.
Oh, you would take Purple Haze out?
Yeah, and I'd put The Wind Cries.
Okay, you're nuts. Okay, that's insane. That's an insane take. No, that's an insane. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Are you done? I don't want to interrupt you. Like I've interrupted you like 3 times in a row.
That's okay.
Jeff,
the American way.
Come to this point and be like, here's my thoughts on the
song. Yeah, much from a guitar player's perspective, we're all guitar players in this room, so Jimmy. I put that term loosely, but
okay,
Jimi Hendrix is incredible on guitar. This is another one that really does showcase a lot of his tender side of playing. Like he can do a lot of good arpeggiated style stuff. He can do a lot of good scale bass solos. This is a song that works, but it's not his best song. It's just one that's more about atmosphere than it is about creating a, like, I don't want to necessarily say cohesive song, but a song that's like, that sticks the landing. If I had to think of something that I would have replaced this with that kind of was in that same vein, Bold as Love really came to mind for me. I always loved that one. Or like Spanish Castle Magic. That was always really good. Good instrumental Jimi Hendrix song.
Oh, yeah. Check out those guys, because those are underappreciated.
If you take away anything from this show, other songs to check out from artists that you love. So Bold as Love, Spanish Castle Magic, those are some fantastic ones. Or Hear My Train a Comin'. That's always a good one, too.
It's been a while since I've listened to that one, but Spanish Castle Magic is so good. So, yeah. So I think that we're not all in agreement, but...
No. I get to be on the island.
We agree that we like the song.
Yes.
Some more than others, but it's a fine Jimmy song.
Yeah, absolutely. With that, let's move on to number 378, I'm a Man by Bo Diddley. The three of us have actually talked about this song before, last time Jeff was on the show, when it was called Manish Boy by Muddy Waters.
Yeah.
Which is 5 times better than this, I'm not going to lie.
Hell yeah.
Like, this is okay. This is okay. Like, if you want that traditional blues, like, guitar, stomp, guitar, harmonica, stomp kind of thing, this is not a bad pick to go with. I think the thing that makes Muddy Waters is Manish Boy work better is A, they changed the tempo up, and B, there's a lot more energy behind it. Because that's wild, with like the screaming and the energy and just like the way everyone throws themselves into it. And whereas this one kind of just like, hey guys, I'm gonna do a traditional blues song for you all. Hope you enjoy. And it just doesn't work for me because of that. What about you though, Brooklyn?
So I'm kind of surprised that this song got cut, but Bo Diddley came up, like stayed on, because I think, like, obviously as Bo Diddley from a musical.
Bo Diddley?
Yeah, Bo Diddley from the record Bo Diddley.
Oh, okay. Just double checking.
Yeah. So yeah, the music on that one is fine, but the like lyrics it isn't really offering anything. I think this one and like the theme that we've gone back to is lyrics that grab you right away. When I was a young boy at the age of 5, I feel like everybody kind of knows what song you're talking about when you say those lyrics.
Yeah, Manish Boy.
This is not okay. Never mind. I'm just gonna.
I'm sorry. I love you. Go ahead. Continue on though.
No, but that's it. Bo Diddley is Diddley.
Okay, Neighborino.
I'm uncomfortable. Jeff, help me.
I mean, this much like what we talked about with like the Chuck Berry earlier, like this is like, and even when we talked about the song on the previous episode of 500 Stones, check that one out, by the way. It's a good episode. And check out the whole catalog of it. It's a fun time. So here you
except
go,
for maybe the first episode, that one, yeah, that was a little rough.
Whatever. But it's. But much like kind of like what I have with the opinion, like this is like the stereotypical song you think of when you think of like that bluesy riff, that bum 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 bum. Like this is the song, kids, where it comes from. You know, it's nothing. It's short. It's sweet. It's to the point. It's exactly what you think it is. It's exactly what represented that era of like the 50s and rock and roll and kind of where it was going and how kind of like those Southern roots were intermixing their way into the mainstream, and it works. You know, I can see why this one was cut in favor of Manish Boy, but it's still a fine song. You pay your respects to the originals.
Yeah, exactly. It's a pillar. But sometimes pillars crumble.
They can crumble. They can fade. It's okay.
Speaking of number 377, Personal Jesus by Depeche Mode. Jeff, you seemed like if I had to guess, I would say that you're a Depeche Mode fan. Am I right?
I appreciate Depeche Mode, you know. Because
hey, how was that train that just threw you under?
I mean, it's a long train, so we're gonna keep going.
That's the
So-
Doobie Brothers, who aren't on any of these lists, which is insane. Go ahead, though.
Crime, first of all. They're
Yes,
not
thank
on
you.
any. But Depeche Mode is one of those like new wave bands that I think is fine. You know, they're good. They got some good songs. You got to look for the right songs. I think we talked about the one before. I forget. What the hell
We
it's
did
called.
talk about Enjoy the Silence with you.
Yeah, Enjoy the Silence. Yes. You know, but Personal Jesus, this is kind of like the other Depeche Mode song that I got a list there. Depeche Mode song, you know, what everybody thinks of. But you know, so it's a fine song. I think I would switch this out though with The World in My Eyes. That's, I think, a better Depeche Mode song. And for those who don't know which one that is, if you remember the Ready Player One trailer, that's the song they play in that.
Oh,
Yeah. Let me take you on a trip around the world and back. That's a good one.
That is a good one.
When you said I'm gonna take you on a trip, I thought you were gonna follow it in our favorite rocket ship, rocking through the sky.
Mother, yes.
I'm on an island over here. Brooklyn, continue.
It's a Little Einstein, Bart.
Yeah.
Get kids.
Little Einstein. Never.
No idea.
Okay. Well,
Are
yeah.
they like the Wiggles?
They teach about music.
You're a
They teach
hipster
about...
with children's shows.
First of all, no, you would actually would
why
appreciate
are
the
you
show
calling
from a musician's perspective. You would enjoy this one because they talk a lot about classical music and they talk about instruments and they talk about what adagio and allegro is. So that it's educational in that aspect. So yeah, I was like, I got kids.
My dad.
I watch the show religiously.
Yeah, look, my parents didn't do that. My dad just played Kenny Chesney on loop. So go ahead.
You poor thing.
I was personally a Mr. Dressup fan. That was our jam growing up. But yeah, this song the song in general really speaks out to kind of like the goth style that they were going out for. Like when you say the lines like "reach out and touch me," I feel like everybody kind of falls into the tone that they were going for. The thing that I will say though is that if you listen to this song and then you listen to Fall Out Boy's "I Don't Care" right after it, they sound very similar.
Oh my God! I never even
me.
thought about
Yeah,
that.
I had the same reaction, Jeff, whenever I listened to it. But I guess I haven't heard it in a while, or I haven't heard it in a while enough to remember it. But I guess Johnny Cash does a really good cover of this song too.
I forgot he did that. I'm not gonna lie.
God, yeah, I forgot about that.
I gotta re-listen to that one. So
Homework, everybody.
I told, more homework today. So we had talked about this before, but Depeche Mode is a band that I kind of respect more than I necessarily like listen to a lot. I only really know a couple of their songs. The three that we've talked about so far, and I Just Can't Get Enough, which I really like a lot. Oh, and Wrong. Wrong is actually a dope ass Depeche Mode song. That's another one to listen to. Are you a
Depeche Mode fan or not? Really? I mean, because you listen to like 5 songs you liked.
I said 5 songs that I know. And maybe I did say like, oh God, I need to reevaluate.
Break out the eyeliner. It's okay.
Where's my black leather cowboy hat and vest? This song, this is probably, of the 2 Depeche Mode songs that we've listened to in these series, this is probably my favorite of the 2. Mainly because that bass line is so good. It is thick and oily. And it literally like takes a hold of your ears and goes, "We're going for a ride now," but it's like dark outside. That and the percussion. The percussion is super tight on this one. This plays often at my store, which surprises me considering we have like a lot of old people that shop in our store. But it's very Brooklyn. What would you say that the song's about?
Is it about sex?
Yeah, sex, baby.
The perks of being behind the cameras. I can see the banners. They're there.
Yeah. This song is kind of sexy. and it's one of the better
I mean,
ones that we've covered on the show.
now that I think about it, "Reach Out and Touch Me" is very sensual.
Tries
to build up the.
If you put this on to try and make Whoopi, I don't know if you're gonna do anything. Then this is kind of one of those where it's like you might get slapped if you put this on.
Yeah, but if you're with the one that you belong with, they're gonna be like, okay, I respect you at least.
You're trying, but how about some Marvin Gaye at least, or some Al Green? What about the standards? They don't break.
Oh, okay. What about this one then? White Room by Cream.
Not a Whoopi song, but all right.
We're gonna pinpoint all of the great Whoopi songs.
This would be a Whoopi song, depending on if you want to fulfill the title of the song.
Okay. Jeff.
The explanation of this song.
Jeff, cover.
All right, let's back on track. Here we go, y'all. Cream. God, I can't even talk now because I can't even say the name now. I hate every one of you. Oh my god. So Cream, the band.
Yes. The band.
Another one of those like kind of British invasion bands. I think tried more that were things that were daring and were able to kind of do some things. Like one of the big songs I think of is Tales of Brave Ulysses. It's a song that really took a lot of chances. And White Room is definitely one of those, like, it has like a very like operatic feel in some ways to it, especially with that opening when it hits you that ooh, and then it just kicks in with the drum, poof, and then it in the White Room. And it just keeps driving that boom, 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 and a good bass line drives the song. And it's so tight and it's so compact that you just find yourself just kind of just humming along to it, tapping along with it. It's a good song. It's one of the better Cream songs out there. And I would definitely recommend. How this one didn't make the list? How? Or should have went back on the list.
Yeah, there's no Cream on the official list at all, which is wrong. I love Cream.
Brooklyn, I see every single smirk you're making right now. Stop it.
Will you calm down?
I'm calm. I'm getting ready for what I have to say.
It's hard.
I'm waiting for you to cue me up. Like
the show is hard enough as it is.
God damn it, Bar! Stop it.
Look, we'll lay this down gently. Yeah, this is I love I love Cream. I love Cream, but no, but legitimately, I do love this band. The three of them work so well together. The three of them work so well together as one cohesive unit, and just like those drums are so perfect. It's Ginger Baker on drums, right? Or okay,
Ginger Baker, yep.
Ginger Baker's drum work is just legendary to me. He's one of my like top 5 favorite drummers of all time. And the other thing that I really love the most about this song is the lyrics, because you can tell that they were written by an actual poet. Just with like the visual like stylization that they come up with, like in the White Room with black curtains near the station, like just immediately with those first 3 lines, you have like a visual picture. It's so good. I love this song. It's actually probably in my top 100 personally. Possible spoilers coming up. But Brooklyn, what about you? And make this family appropriate now.
Well, I mean, the things that we're going to say are family appropriate. This is a Ginger Baker song. If anything, like the drum fill comes in, Eric Clapton weirdly takes a back seat in this and just kind of does like wah-y kind of pedally stuff in the middle. I'm trying to remember the name of the vocalist / bassist, but I think he also does a really good job in this one. If we're talking about Cream songs that are in the top 100, "Sunshine of Your Love" is kind of there. But that's also coming from like a big love and adoration of Eric Clapton. Jack Bruce, thank you, producer man. That definitely just sent me a telegram. But
Beat
yeah,
me to it.
Cream is a great band, but I can never. But after this show, I can never look at Cream and White Room again in the same way.
What about cream soda?
I've never had cream soda.
What the hell? Okay.
I mean,
cream soda.
I'm a pop
Get him an
purist,
A-Tree.
not a soda purist.
I'm getting yeah.
There is Pepsi, there is 7-Up, there is ginger ale. That's it.
You know what? I'm gonna get him a
Son, open your eye. Bruh.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. To number 375. Oh shit.
Wow.
Let's go down the rabbit hole, everybody. Let's go.
Okay, I'll start with this one. We were talking with this on the drive back. I would love to hear a demo version of this, or just that draft, a rough draft of this, because I love whenever the Bee Gees were on talk shows afterwards, and they would be like, "Oh, let's showcase our harmonies," and this is the one where they do it. I think it works really well in the chorus. What are you doing? No.
What?
Don't.
I'm not.
No. We don't need to emphasize that part. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised, but also not surprised that this got taken off. I built from memory. There's only "Staying Alive" and "You Should Be Dancing." Maybe?
No,
it's
just "Staying Alive."
If there's another song that should be on there, it should be "You Should Be Dancing."
Agreed. "You Should Be Dancing" is the greatest dance song ever made, in my opinion.
Again, "Bust a Move" is right there.
No, "Bust a Move" is really good, but it's not top 5 dance songs. So hold on. You've got "You Should Be Dancing." You've got "Groove Is in the Heart." You've got "Everybody Dance Now."
No, "Everybody Dance Now" fucking sucks.
Okay. Pump Up the Jams. Yeah. And then "Cotton Eye Joe."
I would
just wanted to see Jeff's
white
face.
ass songs for 500.
I just wanted to see Jeff's face.
I can't stand you.
But how deep is your Mr. Producer Man? Can you please fix that? So yeah, how deep is your love? It is a very good Bee Gees song. And it's very soft. It's very AM soft rock kind of tone. But if you watched our last episode and heard my opinion on the Carpenters, you would know that I'm okay with that sometimes. The Gibbs brothers just sound great on this one. Their harmonies are fantastic. So yeah, it's very nice. It's very sweet. Not much more I can say about this one though. Jeff.
I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head. This is one of those songs that just really showcases the harmony of the Gibb brothers. They're just so good. But I'm going to tangent off of that. Every time I think of this song, I think of Mad TV when they made fun of Randy Newman making an album for America. He had Barry Gibb on it, and he kept making fun of his voice. Yeah, because he's like, you sound like a woman. He's like, you sound like the girl who sang on "How Deep Is Your Love." He's like, that was my brother. Said, "You're serious." Another homework assignment, y'all. Watch the skit of Matt from Mad TV with Randy Newman and the album for America. Because he makes fun of Shaka Khan and Beyonce and everything. Oh my god. But this song's fine though. This song is
all right.
Leave it to me to go off of tangents.
We're in the same room, Jeff. We should be doing that. Let's move on before we go on before Jeff goes on another tangent. Number 373, Highway 61 Revisited by Bob Dylan. Jeff, how about you start us off with this one?
Well, God said to Abraham, "Kill me a son." So I always think of this song and the movie The Hunted because it opens with this exact line too. This is kind of one of those. When I think of Bob Dylan, this is one of the songs I think of him. Everybody thinks they "Knocking on Heaven's Door" because this is one of the earliest songs I heard from him from growing up in the house. And it's just a fun little toe tapper of a song. It doesn't some people would argue like the flow just seems kind of off, but that's Bob Dylan though for you. He's very unconventional with some of his timing, but even then, I would for this like to be like on like the original 500. I would have swapped this out probably with Hurricane. That's probably one of his better songs. Hurricane from Bob Dylan is an incredible song.
Absolutely.
But this is fun. It's fine.
It doesn't come up on the list later, so I agree with you, Jeff. That's one of his better songs. Even though what I think is his best song is going to come up later in this series.
Wink, wink.
Yeah. Keep listening. Find out. This song's good. I like this song, but we have what, like 5 other Bob Dylan songs on the official list.
Yeah, there's
Subterranean Homesick Blues, Like a Rolling Stone,
Visions of Joanna,
Tangled Up in Blue.
Yeah, Tangled Up in Blue.
And something else that I can't remember.
Was it Blowing in the Wind or no?
Thank you, Blowing in the Wind. That's the one. So with this one being off the list, I'm totally okay with that. The one coming up later, though, I would totally take Subterranean Homesick Blues off and completely replace with that. But Brooklyn, you play the acoustic guitar.
I do, yeah. So this is not a great Bob Dylan song, which is weird because it fits the same style that he does. Have that one singular riff and then just throw in as many lyrics as you can, or have it as wordy as possible. I don't know what the name of the instrument is, but it's like woo, like whatever the thing it's called.
Like I think is it a slide whistle?
Yeah, sure.
Might be a slide. It's a more like a piccolo slide whistle, I guess it would be like the best musical term.
That sounds right. But yeah, it just kind of throws you
off. It's higher pitched.
And like all the other songs that we were talking about, I kind of want to go listen to them. So I understand why this got cut, and yeah, kind of surprised that it made it on in the first place.
Yeah, me too. Let's go to the one that was just one below this at 372, The Letter by the Box Tops. Brooklyn, I'm going to have you start with this one.
I'm going to steal a phrase from Bill Cariola last week. Pass.
Jeff?
This song is fun. I love this song. I was like, it has a good driving beat to it, and the lyrics are fun to sing along to. It's just give me a ticket for an aeroplane. I was like, if you don't say aeroplane now, come on. Mm-hmm. It's not airplane, it's aeroplane.
Yeah.
And this is one of those where it's like if you listen to the harmonies more, they're better than you think. This is one where it's especially in the chorus, like, will she wrote me a letter? It's just that. Yeah, see? Like, this is just one of those, it's like, it doesn't need to go off these crazy tangents lyrically. It can stick it to be simple and still be effective.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just a fun toe tapper. It's a good 2.5 minute toe tapper. I like this one a lot.
I adore this song. It's one of the first songs that, like, in my teenage years that I got like super attached to. Like, I would listen to it like every single day. And I haven't gotten sick of this song. I can't remember the lead singer's name, but he was like 16 when he recorded this.
And which is crazy.
Right? It's insane because his
voice is so crazy.
So deep, and it's so thick and rich. But it's got just the right amount of gravel to it. It knows when to get out. It knows what kind of song it is. It's like 1:50.
A little bit longer than that, but it's definitely no more than like 2:45.
Yeah. But like, I think the one thing that ties this song up perfectly into a bow is the literal ending, when you have the strings coming in, and they sound incredible. The strings at the end of the song just like are so beautiful. They're like from an Elton John song almost. And then you hear the scream of the airplane taking off, and it kind of like is a great button to end the song when you think of the story of the lyrics. Yeah, freaking love this song. Let's move on.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I do have a question though. Do they ever reveal what the letter is? Like, is it B? Is it T? Is
I
it
knew
Q?
that this joke was coming.
X is worth a lot. X is worth 8 points.
Listen, Scrabble boy, you're not always funny. I love you. Okay. You have like maybe a 95% track record.
Okay. Oh, sorry. If I picked Z, then Z would have been a full 10.
You're slipping down to 90%. Moving on to
redeem yourself, Brooklyn. You can do it.
Moving on to number 371 on the 2010s list, Complete Control by The Clash. Jeff, I'm going to have you start us off with this one.
The Clash, great pop punk band. This is kind of one of the pioneers, of like creating that whole genre and that more mainstream punk than like, because when you thought of punk like in the 80s, you thought of like the CBGBs type thing, those underground kind of things. Yes, Miles. I know. You think of like the scuzzy kind of like punk look. The Clash kind of helped bridge that gap, especially with the London Calling album. Complete Control, though, is kind of a forgettable Clash song in my eyes, though. Like when I think of like Clash, like, obviously you got the staples like Should I Stay or Should I Go, or London Calling. I would have completely swapped this out with Guns of Brixton. Guns of Brixton is a song that just completely hits way better. There ain't no Spanish love songs. Spanish love songs isn't. If you check out that band, y'all, Spanish love songs. That's
actually, I'll agree with Jeff and Mr. Producer, man. Like Spanish love songs is actually a dope ass band.
Hell yeah. One of the best albums of 2020 they came out with.
The best album of 2020. Correction, sir. As a genius. But so Brooklyn, what do you think about this song?
This is kind of the median of the list. I agree with Jeff in that it's a fine rock song, but London Calling is kind of stands out on its own. Should I Stay or Should I Go is one that everybody will sing at a bar. But it's just, it's fine. Like the riff is okay, but there's nothing in the lyrics that are really grabbing me to it. Like we were listening to it on the drive home today, and it was like, okay.
So I actually really dig this song like a lot. I found doing the current list that I'm a bigger punk fan than I thought I was. And this is like early on, like punk Clash, like not pop punk Clash, but like punk Clash. And I think because of my love for the sound and the genre of it, I appreciated the song like a lot. Is it one that I'm gonna go back to like often? Probably not. But when it comes on, I'm gonna be enjoying the shit out of this song. So I get where I'm sorry. Woo! I get where you guys are coming from. I got real verklempt right there. But I think I'm the one who likes it the most out of the three of us here.
Yeah, it's fair.
Let's move on to something that's kind of completely different. All You Need Is Love by the Beatles, the band that, if you watch the last episode, we talk about the Beatles a lot on the series. And I'll start us off with this one. I love the Beatles, and I do love this song a lot, but I wouldn't even put it in the top 25 Beatles songs of all time. Like I love the horns at the beginning, basically playing bum, 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 the Union Jack theme essentially. And then while I still like it, it kind of starts to drag and meander until you get to George Harrison's guitar solo. And then I do love how at the end it sort of becomes like this bar sing along moment. It's a good theme for that, but otherwise, I'm totally okay with this one missing the list personally. There are better songs. There are better Beatles songs. But Jeff, what about you? Do you think that this one deserved to fall off the list?
Yes, I agree with that for sure. But for me, like this is like that phase of the Beatles, like when they got like the Magical Mystery Tour and like the Sgt. Pepper's. Even though Sgt. Pepper's is a good album, this is kind of that phase where that's like they got like, you know what, we're really good. Anything we put out will just hit, you know. And they got full of themselves. This is kind of one of those songs where it's like the message is simple. It's something that everybody can relate to, and it's something that can hit with everybody. But that doesn't always make for a great song. Even the best Titans miss, you know. And this for me, it's not a bad song. It's just it's kind of overly bombastic just for the sake of being overly bombastic. Kind of like, you know, it's like I think of what the hell, like when Oasis, when they came out with the Be Here Now album, they got a lot of comparisons to like this era of the Beatles, especially when they had All Around the World. This is kind of like what they were referring to. It's just loud, and it's just overly preachy and just big for the sake of being big. Again, not a bad song. I just think this is just kind of that phase of the Beatles where I'm kind of like, this is where I kind of back off a little bit. So it's a fine.
You and I have the exact same opinion on Be Here Now. Brooklyn, what about you though?
Okay, so
Uh-oh.
3 things. Number 1, this is in my top 25 Beatles songs ever. Number 2, this definitely helps with the George Martin is the 5th Beatle because he produces the fuck out of this. Number 3, this song proves that heroin was a drug. Because all you need is love, and it has that drag to it. But it's like nothing you can sing that can be sung. It's easy. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love is all you need. And then at the end, like when I like the kind of tie-in to "She Loves You," yeah, yeah, yeah.
That is a good. Yeah. That is a good.
I still lean towards Sgt. Pepper's as my favorite era of the Beatles. This stuff is fine. I like the kind of hippie-esque nature of it. But yeah, drugs are mostly bad. This is one of the only times that they can be used in an okay way. But yeah, remember, kids, drugs are bad.
Okay.
You just add.
I said they're mostly bad. Okay. They're 90% bad.
Drugs are bad.
It's at 10%. It's where they get you.
Jesus Christ. 10% of drugs is still drugs. Oh my God. Moving on. Number 368. Got My Mojo Working by Muddy Waters. Yeah. So we're gonna. Yeah, I agree with you. So this is really good. I'm really starting to like Muddy Waters like a lot. Even when the songs are like not the fastest tempo, there's still so much energy and electricity in Muddy Waters' performance whenever he sings a song that it really does grab you. This is one that I'm okay with it being off the list, even though I like it a lot. It just doesn't quite have that one extra element to it, and I can't place what that one extra element is. Brooklyn, can you help me with possibly finding that out?
I can't. No, we were honestly talking about Manish Boy, and Manish Boy is kind of stuck in my head, but that kind of proves the power of Manish Boy. You were talking about how this kind of slow fucking headphones. But yeah, this song is kind of slow. Absolutely. But it's kind of weird given the title. Like I got my mojo working. But yeah, it's okay. Like 368, sure. Any higher, I'd be kind of a little concerned. But yeah, I'm sure this is a fine spot to have it.
And Jeff, what are your thoughts on Got My Mojo Working?
Yeah, this is a song like when you look at the title, you're expecting some kind of like double time kind of like, you know, boom bop boom bop boom bop, you know, something quick, and it kind of feels fast, but in the same sense, it feels restrained in a sense. But it's still a good song. It's not 368's a fine placement for it. It's again paying respect to those classic fillers, you know, from like those like Chess era record phase, you know, which people give some respect to Chess Records. Yeah, it ain't Motown, but they fine.
Much respect to Chess Records. You wouldn't have Etta James without them, motherfuckers. All right, let's move on. Speaking of Motown, actually, moving on to what was number 367, Nowhere to Run by Martha and the Vandellas. Brooklyn, I'm going to go last with this one because you know how much I love my Martha Reeves and the Vandellas.
All right, Jeff, what are your thoughts on the song? You still get to go last.
Classic Motown right here. Yeah, like this is like when you think of like that, like the lead vocalist of like a Motown, for women. Martha Reeves is sadly kind of overshadowed by some of the other greats, but this is one of those songs that it's just fun, and it just drives, and it just gets you moving and grooving a bit, and it just, the horns work in it, the like everything just works with it so well. It's a fun toe tapper. She has a good voice, and there's good harmonies throughout it. I say sadly Martha Reeves is she's just overshadowed by some of the other Motown greats. This would have been close to making the 500, like the original 500, but I could see why it was omitted. But this is still a damn good song, y'all.
Hey, Mom, do we have the Supremes?
Oh no.
Do we have the Shangri-Las?
No.
Martha and the Vandellas. Okay, get them. That's fine.
Can you just bring up the Shangri-Las before Martha Reeves and the Vandellas?
The Shangri-Las are the bad girls of Motown, Andrew. We aren't even Motown! Keep going.
If you shit on the raw nets, I'm gonna throw something now.
No. But yeah. Martha and the Vandellas are a great band. I can't think of the song like when you like the title and the melody or whatever. Words are hard sometimes. But yeah, it's fine. I need to ramble on more. I don't know where Andrew went to. Where did you go? Papa, can you hear me? Oh, you brought but
there we go.
Andrew, drunk and bad. Okay, I can't support this.
Okay, so he put the Shangri-Las above the fucking Martha Reeves and the Vandellas.
The nerve. The nerve.
The nerve. The gall. The unmitigated gall. So Martha Reeves and the Vandellas is one of my favorite groups of all time. I think Martha Reeves has got one of the greatest voices in the history of music. Not just women in music, but the history of music. There is so much power and soul and gusto and control. The control that Martha Reeves has is so good. And honestly, we have Dancing in the Street and we have Heat Wave on the official current list. But we could have gotten rid of Single Ladies, put a ring on it, and replaced it with Nowhere to Run. Like, this song is amazing. It is automatically sticky, it's powerful, and it's a statement. It's so freaking good. And cheers, Brooklyn. All right, so moving on.
How much you gotta chase that back with?
Moving on to number 364. Bad Moon Rising by Creedence Clearwater Revival. Jeff, start us off.
I mean, not many people know this about the song. This is kind of one of those first songs that kind of hinted at turmoil within the band.
Yeah.
Like, especially when you listen to it. Like I remember when somebody told me about that. I'm like, yeah, I can hear that. And then Who Will Stop the Rain is also another one that hints at that.
Yeah, this is what leads into Mardi Gras.
Oh boy! Although Sweet Hitchhiker is an okay song.
That was fine. Yeah.
But Bad Moon Rising, like this is like another one that's a classic John Fogerty toe tapper. This is just showcases, just how well he can write a song. Not necessarily like something that's like crazy, like lyrically, or something that it's like, wow, did you hear this? And did you hear that guitar lick in here? This is just one of those. It's you can have a good driving song and just sing along to it. Bad Moon Rising is kind of like the epitome of that. This is like a classic song you roll the windows down to and you can just sing along to it. I see Bad Moon Rising. It's just easy. It's easy to sing along with it. Need some chocolate.
Okay. Did Producer Man have a shot too? I think there's an O in you.
There might be an O somewhere.
They're trying They're trying to be Prince. Go ahead.
Yeah. So this is a great, like, even like the CCR version is great. I like the kind of stickiness of the guitar riff, and the kind of the simplicity of it. This will always have a soft spot in my heart because, uh,
Come at me. Go ahead.
no, I saw the Killers play a few years ago.
Ooh,
And
okay.
they were like, we have two options. We can play a song that we obviously didn't play, or we can play Bad Moon Rising. And it was perfect because where the concert was, it was like right beside this river. And the moon was rising like at like just to the right of the stage, so it was kind of perfect. So yeah, yeah, it's just like it's a solid CCR song. I still prefer Heard It Through the Grapevine, like that cover. And
Solid
I mean,
cover.
Proud Mary's fine. Who Stopped the Rain is great. And then Have You Ever Seen the Rain? Also,
Yeah, both of their Rain songs should also be on this list.
I like the cover of Susie Q. Even
Susie Q is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
This is one of my top 5 Creedence Clearwater Revival songs. I'm a huge CCR fan. I love them. When they were together and on, they were on. Plus they're like the epitome of like Southern rock, in my opinion.
absolutely.
Green River too. On the Born on the Bayou, man,
Born on the
Old Man
Bayou.
Down the Road.
Born on the
Okay,
Bayou is
yeah,
great
Born on
song.
the Bayou.
It's
Whatever,
incredible.
Shangri-La boy. Yeah, this song is just this. It's dope.
Look into my eyes. Look into my eyes. I am the leader of the pack.
Mr. Producer Man, Jeff? We're gonna move on to number 363. I'm gonna have a talk with Brooklyn. Mr. Producer Man.
All right, so I'm taking over the show, y'all. Sorry. 363 is Watching the Detectives from Elvis Costello. So Elvis Costello going a little reggae, ska, funk kind of song here. This is a fun song to listen to. It has a good driving guitar rhythm to it. The lyrics work really well with it too. You know, hey, everybody's back.
You're still listening. Go ahead.
You were still listening. Cool. Did I carry the show enough?
Yes, wonderfully.
Sure. All right. But yeah, this is kind of like classic Elvis Costello kind of experimenting with different sounds and seeing if it sticks into his niche of how he writes songs. This is his take on like a reggae style song, and it works really, really well, actually. I think this is one of his better songs. Top 500 song? I'd go Radio before I'd go Watching the Detectives.
Ooh, that is a good choice. That is a real good choice. That is an underrated song.
See, this is kind of like my whole spiel with this whole show. I pick songs that I'd swap out with them.
Yeah.
And
isn't Radio the one that got him banned from SNL for a little bit? Okay.
Yes, but it's an incredible song though.
Yeah. Also, guys, check out the version of Radio that he does with the Beastie Boys on SNL.
Weird Al Yankovic also does a cover of it too, and it's actually really good.
Really? Okay, I gotta listen to that. So but before we keep on derailing, this is the song I actually got introduced to Elvis Costello with. And I cannot thank this song enough for that, because that man is arguably like real close to my top 5, absolutely top 10. And I think the thing that makes this song work the most is, for some reason, that reggae kind of aspect to it really adds the film noir kind of atmosphere of the song. Like it kind of gives a visualization to like the shadows and the smoke, and the angles and all of that. It's a dope ass song. And it lyrically, it does kind of come across as a film noir. So if you're a movie fan that really likes music, I think this is a good song to dip your toes into, and just more Elvis Costello in general. But Brooklyn, what do you think of this one?
So Elvis Costello in general has risen up in stock, much like GameStop, I guess. Yeah, it's gone up
Best analogy ever
exponentially in the last couple of years. But this record is great. It's weird going to this song because a lot of other songs on the record are like pretty easy to listen to. Like Allison's pretty easy to listen to. Pump It Up is also a bop and a half. I like you mentioned the Fillmore thing on the drive in, and I was like, that's understandable, and I kind of like that association with it because of like the reggae kind of adds like the mistiness to it. But it's definitely one that I can't wait to like to go back to, and just, like when it comes back on repeat, because I feel like there's going to be more to kind of like discover. I guess. Whereas like with the other ones, like you only need like the only things you need to find are in that first listen.
Yeah. Listen to more Elvis Costello, except you can skip.
He's not wrong.
You can skip Oliver's Army though. That one you can skip. Moving on, yeah. Moving on to number 362, just one below this, is Tears in Heaven by Eric Clapton. I'm going to save you for last because I know that you have a deep emotional attachment to this song. So I will go first. I really like this song a lot. It's not often that a song done on Unplugged for MTV becomes this cultural staple. It happened for Nirvana and it happened for Eric Clapton in this moment. And just it's so if you know the backstory of this song, it adds so much emotional heartbreak and weight to it. You can hear the just like it kind of feels like he doesn't want to be singing this, but he knows that he has to in order to like help cope. Um, and it's a heartbreaking song. I'm not surprised that it fell off the list, but I'm a little disheartened about the fact. Jeff, what about you?
So, kind of like our derailment, but this is a good derailment. For those people who do not know, I actually work with Martin Guitar. I work in the pre-finishing department. I work on guitars daily. Eric Clapton is a big Martin supporter.
I took a tour there once. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like come and see me over in Standing or filming. But he was known on that cover for that Triple Lot 42 when he played that and kind of helped bring back the acoustic guitar, especially that finger picking style, because this was the first song that I learned to like really finger pick a song to, because it's a nice back and forth with the thumb and the index and the middle finger and the index fingers. It's one of those that's just it is such a deeply moving song. It is, and from somebody who has not suffered that same level of tragedy that he has, but somebody who has gone through miscarriage and the pain that comes with that, this song really does resonate on a whole new level. And it's one of those songs, it's like you love hearing it, but you understand why he doesn't play it live. You understand why not many people want to play this song, like as far as their acoustic sets, because it's just so emotionally impactful and it's so emotionally driven that even if it doesn't relate to like his actual meaning of the song, you can find your own comfort in it. And I think this is one of his best songs. I can see again why it's taken off. I'm disheartened, just like you are. Yeah. But this to me is it's when you think of an acoustic guitar song that you want to learn to, this is one of the like staples right here. And it's a fun song to play, but not fun as well.
Oh, there we go. We're back. Cool. Oh, thank God. Brooklyn, bring down the energy.
Yeah. Okay. So, if we're talking about the original version, the thing that I like about it, I like the slide guitar solo. I think that adds a lot of depth to it. It's a rare dip into country that Eric doesn't often take. If we are talking about the Unplugged album, go check out Lonely Stranger. It has a very similar vibe to it, but everything else that Jeff was saying as well, as a guitar piece, this is fucking awesome. I love the pre-chorus in it, both musically and lyrically. There's a line in particular, Beyond the Door, there's Peace I'm Sure, and I love that, like, I'm going to use a very big word, the monochromatic descent, where it kind of just goes down the semitone. So it has that nice kind of gradual build to it. But yeah, again, like you were saying, Andrew, the Unplugged version kind of supersedes this version. Say what you about Eric Clapton now, post-pandemic. But yeah, I can kind of understand why this got taken off. Like, I think this was in the set list for a while, and then it came out a couple of years ago because he was just done coping with that death. But yeah, Eric Clapton's a fun time.
Well, his music is a fun time.
Yeah, his music fun times.
Yeah.
There's more fun songs in this one, people. I promise.
Yeah, you know what? Let's move on to one of those. All Shook Up by Elvis Presley. On the complete opposite end of the fun spectrum, Brooklyn, how about you start us off with this one? All right, fine.
Elvis Presley is fine. This song is fine. It's not in that mix of songs that I hate a lot, but it's there. It's fair. Like, it's just standard rockabilly, not necessarily horrible, but it's also not like, oh wow, I need to go back to this.
So I like Elvis a little bit more than Brooklyn does, obviously.
Really? It's not like I've taken entire serious to say that he's incredibly overrated.
I will say though, this is one of my, I don't want to say my lesser Elvis songs. It's one of probably my lesser favorites. But I think the thing that really, first of all, Elvis's songwriters were fantastic songwriters. Like, they usually were the standout for me. But in this case, it's the band. The band is what really makes this song work, because they're tight, they're controlled, they're even, but they do have this good bounce and rhythm to it, which is really good if you're listening to it just by itself, the music. So I like this song, but it's the band, I think, that makes it work, not necessarily Elvis Presley himself. Jeff, do you think I'm right about that, or do you think that I'm like way off?
Hit the nail on the head with this one. This is a song that, like, it's an Elvis song, you know. This is like that standard 12-bar rockabilly blues that you kind of expect. You know, it knows when to start, it knows when to stop, it knows when to have that break, when to have, you know, for the chorus that I'm all shook up, you know, like it knows what it wants to do. But the band, yeah, super tight in this song. And again, another classic. If I were to swap this out with another Elvis song, Return to Sender.
Yes. Okay. Good. That, yeah, underappreciated, underrepresented Elvis song.
I'll say that saxophone in that song is just gorgeous.
It's mint.
I'm sorry. Did you say Elvis Presley and saxophone?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a good early Elvis song that really holds up well. I like Return to Sender a lot.
Yeah, me too. Jeff, I'm so glad we have you here. Moving on to number 360, The Great Pretender by the Platters. This song is nice. I like this one. We've covered a couple of like doo-wop kind of songs on the show so far, and unfortunately only a small few of them I've said deserve to still be on the list. This is to like scraping the bottom, if I was to say that, because it's a very pleasant listen. And the vocals they sound great, like they're layered very nicely, the production's good. It's just not one that I would like put in the upper echelon of doo-wop. Brooklyn, what about you though?
So I'm not gonna lie, not quite sure what the song is. And now that this group is called the Platters, it makes me think about like the platters, like a fish and chip platter. Like, there needs to be your protein or your side. Have a platter. There needs to be coleslaw. So now I'm just craving coleslaw.
Creativity was not a thing in the 50s, Brooklyn. I mean,
what should we name our group? Put the and then pluralize whatever word it is.
I mean, you're not wrong. Jeff, what do you think of this one?
Much like you kind of said, you know, like this is kind of one of those, like, you know, like doo-wop songs that it's like It'd be fun to sing, like if you were in like a straight barbershop quartet or like a regular like doo-wop tribute group. This is like a fun little opener or like a second or third song, but this isn't one that people are going to be going like, man, I hope they play The Great Pretender from the Platters. You know, that's kind of one of people that's going to go, okay, or they, because they're not a Motown act, they're kind of just there.
Yeah.
You know, like this.
They're,
yeah, like you said, this is kind of scraping the barrel of like them like classic like street corner doo-wop band. So like it's a fine song, but it's not anything gonna get you out of bed.
Had Come and Go With Me by the Del Vikings. We had that one earlier. That's an example of a great doo-wop song. In the Still of the Night by the Five Satins is on the current list. That's a great doo-wop song. Even I Only Have Eyes for You by the Flamingos. Like those, I think, are your standards.
Hold on, I gotta go on Spotify because I'm thinking of one right now.
Okay. All
right. The Crystals, the Do Run Run.
The Do, yeah.
The Do Run Run, the Do Run Run. That's classic.
Absolutely. Yeah, those are like the doo-wop songs that you should be listening to, as well as maybe one or two that are coming down the line. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. But let's move on to something that I'm also a little surprised is off the list. It's The Locomotion by Little Ava, or Eva. I actually don't know. I should look.
Tomato.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought this song was by Kylie Minogue.
By who?
Kylie Minogue.
Oh my God.
Grand Funk Railroad. Thank you.
Van Halen. Thank you. So I'm both surprised and I'm not surprised at the same time that this song is off the list, because it's a very simple dance bubblegum pop song. But it's sort of like when we talked about what was the first one that we talked about again? Another Brick in the Wall Part 2, where it's had such a cultural impact. Like so many people have covered it. That I'm a little surprised that it's not at least like a footnote in the current list at like 500 or something like that. But it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a good, as I said, it's a good danceable 60s, 50s bubblegum pop song. It's very enjoyable when it comes on. Jeff, what do you think? Do you do The Locomotion?
Always do The Locomotion. You know, the first thing I think about is I think of a little tiny 5'8" sweaty motherfucker with a big afro telling me to start sweating to the oldies. You know, my grandmother had the tape. You know, and I remember
my mom had them as well.
Oh yes, I said that was a thing, people, back in the day with Richard Simmons and sweating to the oldies.
Come on, let's go.
Yes, but the Locomotion. Yeah, I would say, but it's another one of those simple ones. You just move your arms, you know, come on, baby, do the locomotion. You know, it's a fun bubblegum pop song. You know, this is kind of one of those songs that set the motion too. I do like the Grand Funk Railroad cover of this one though, as I mentioned earlier. You know, which makes sense for them to do that song. But this is a fun.
Oh God, I didn't even think about
that. But yeah, it's the Locomotion. Nothing crazy. Yeah, it's a fun song.
Brooklyn, what do you think?
Can you actually like talk to that bottle? Okay, so we're gonna pour this first. This is a rye from Saint Laurent, Quebec. For anybody playing along at home,
please sponsor us.
I fucking hate this song. I really fucking hate this song. This gets overplayed to fuck at weddings. Ugh.
Yes.
Ugh. Yeah. I have a memory of drunk college kids like getting into like a locomotion train and they're just like wobbling along back and forth, which is also very easy for a drunk person to sing because they're like na 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 na, come on baby do the locomotion. Yeah,
no, that's too much thinking when you're hammered.
Yeah, you need
a chug emotion.
Yeah, 7 words, that's all you need.
I'm gonna put a rock under your cushion tonight.
Joke's on you. I actually really like hard pillows.
Moving on to number 358, Spanish Harlem by Benny King. Brooklyn, how about you crush my dreams on this one too?
So you're telling me that Benny King put out another song that wasn't Stand By Me?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. It's fine. It's To be honest with you, when I see the title of this song, for some reason my brain immediately goes to the Willie Nelson Ray Charles song Seven Spanish Angels. But yeah. It's okay. Like it has that 50s kind of vibe to it. But Stand By Me's there. It's already on the list.
I actually really like Spanish Harlem. I like this song a lot. I understand why it's not on the current list anymore. But first of all, Benny King still is an amazing singer. Like this dude was just so good. And I do like I think the instrumentation is really good. The production on this song is dope. It's just it's such a rich, bold sound. Um, and it's a super pleasant listen. Um, you know what? It's a good summer song in the sense that it's got that warm atmosphere to it. And if you're just like going for a walk on like a summer day, I think this is a good one to pick up.
But we already had that in Sitting on the Dock of the Bay.
No, that's a sitting song.
But that's a
sir.
summer song.
But that's a sitting summer song. It's literally called "Sitting on the Dock of the Bay." Jeff,
that wasn't the argument. We're talking summer songs, not just sitting in the summer.
I'll play devil's advocate here. I could agree this is a good summer song. And no, I was gonna say I look at both sides. You're both right in this scenario. There is sitting, so everybody wins. But man, this producer, man. When I hear this song, we actually did this in my middle school jazz band. I playing trumpet on this song. Yeah, I'll say so. It was a fun little song. We did this. I remember doing Salt Peanuts as well. In the Mood, a very stripped down In the Mood, but we did that. But
yeah.
I'll say, but I did do the real In the Mood in high school though, which that song's fun. But Spanish Harlem though, it's a fine Benny King song. Like this, yeah. Baby.
Go ahead.
This. Nah, I'm above it. No, but like this is one too. It has the lyrics work nice in this. Like this is one where he really shows Benny King's range. You know, he can hit those nice highs, but he can also hit the nice lows too. It's a good kind of exercise in how he can kind of hit the nice lows, can hit the mediums really nice, hit those highs, but also go back to the lows in a good range. That shows somebody who's got a good vocal control and good diction as well. So somebody who can really push from the diaphragm and able to control their voice in all those octaves. So
yeah, absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the absolute head there. Let's move on to number 357. That lady, parts 1
Who's
and 2.
Lady, sexy lady.
Okay, Mr. Producer Man, I guess you can put it up.
I mean, this isn't a song about sex. This is about somebody wanting to have sex with a particular person.
This is true. Brooklyn, how about you start us off? Actually,
commercials kind of killed the song. Anytime that commercials wanted to be like, oh, we want somebody to idolize like a certain thing.
There's a vacuum cleaner over here. I think they have. Yeah, I remember the song with the vacuum cleaner. If I'm wrong, or if anybody remembers this,
no, you're probably right.
But yeah, no, that's it really, and it's aged pretty well. Like the guitar in this is really nice. When I think of the Isley Brothers, and what's the song like? Shout, yeah,
part 1 and 2,
yeah, because that's also fucking crazy too. That the Isley Brothers had 3 songs that had parts 1 and 2. Which is like, why have that there? Like, why not just call it That Lady?
Because there are 2 separate parts to it. So
okay,
yeah, Ask a simple question, get simple answers.
But with that same logic, though, why not call Bohemian Rhapsody Bohemian Rhapsody Part 1, Bohemian Rhapsody Part 2, I guess, and Bohemian Rhapsody Part 3?
Well,
because
of the Rhapsody part, because a Rhapsody is multiple movements.
Yeah, thank you. You should know this. Oh my god. All right. Yeah. First of all, I want to shout out the Isley Brothers. I think I said this the last time we talked about them, but they are one of the most undervalued groups of all time. Like, this is a band that was able to keep up with the times and still outdo people that were already in that genre. Like, you go from Shouts Part 1 and 2, which is like that Stax soul kind of sound, and then you transition seamlessly into this like disco-esque kind of like groovy atmosphere, and they would end up doing funk as well later on down the line with like Shining Star. Shout out to the Isley Brothers. They do not get enough credit from us as a society. And this song is smooth. This song is smooth as fuck. And then you get to that rip-roaring guitar solo, and holy hell, that is just perfection on wax. Yeah, guys, this song is so fucking good. Please give it a listen. Please listen to more of the Isley Brothers. Jeff, I saw you nodding your head.
You kind of like pivoted off of what I was gonna say. Like, this is how like they kind of like went with the times. The word I think of is evolve. This is somebody that evolved with how music changed throughout the times, especially with this song. This is like them kind of bridging that gap of like the old like soul R&B with the new like funk rock age, like kind of transitioning into that period of time. This is kind of like them bringing that classics into the new standard at the time. And this is still a song that can work on a lot of levels, and a lot of their discography can work. Like, looking at songs, I have them up on Spotify. Yeah, like you got Shout, It's Your Thing. That's always a good one too.
Yeah.
Footsteps in the Dark, This Old Heart of Mine. Like,
This Old Heart of Mine, my favorite Isley
like
Brothers
this,
song.
Yeah, when you think of like songs from the Isley Brothers, this is when you look at them and you're like, there's a lot more that I like with them than I really realize. And that lady is just, it's smooth. It has that perfect wah style guitar, especially on that solo. Like, you can hear the tube screaming on that one from the tube amps. That's just crazy. So, but yeah, this song, as the kids say it, slaps.
Oh, for sure. They're also like one of the most sampled groups of all time. Like, you brought up Footsteps in the Dark. That's the sample that they use for Good Day by Ice Cube.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And my mind's playing tricks on me by Ghetto Boys.
Yeah.
Like, they have so many great songs that like I love the Isley Brothers. Let's move on to the next song that was at number 356, Candle in the Wind by Elton John. I incorrectly said that Goodbye Yellow Brick Road was the last Elton John song that we would talk about.
How dare you say something incorrect,
Andrew? I
know.
You're
100% correct all the time.
The people depend on me.
I depend on you, Andrew.
You do depend on me, and I let you down, Brooklyn. I'm so sorry.
You failed me.
I know. As punishment, I'm gonna go first. It's not one of my favorite Elton John songs, but I do love this song a lot. It's actually legitimately one of the first songs I ever had to learn for vocal lessons. And I think that this is another instance where it's Bernie Taupin's lyrics that are the standout here. Because, man, the one line about sitting in the 22nd row, who sees you as something more than sexual, more than just our Marilyn Monroe. Such like a incredibly crafted like verse right there. But it also doesn't work quite as well. Elton's like composition isn't as beautiful, and I don't want to say it's a dirge, but it's got that kind of, that aesthetic to it. Yeah, it's a gorgeous piece that just like it's a tragically gorgeous piece.
Yeah.
What would you say, Brooklyn?
Yeah. In the spectrum of Elton John, I think this is kind of another middling song. But in terms of 80s songs, I actually really like this. I think the guitar solo in
70s.
the 70s, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the original version of this, I think the guitar solo really works. I think like the backing vocals on at the end, like that very choral kind of like echo. But if we're able to like to nail down one particular version, I think the lyrical changes for like Goodbye England's Rose for Princess Diana's funeral, I think that's just like I would almost kind of throw in that version there because I think it was like I was obviously unintentional, but kind of just the right place at the right time. Um, but yeah, it seems to, and even in the chorus, it seems to be like you live your life like a candle in the wind. I think that kind of it's a very subtle way to to minimize how Marilyn Monroe lived her life, where she was kind of daring, and nobody will ever forget what her name is because all you have to do is what's first line in Candle in the Wind? Goodbye, Norma Jean.
Yeah.
So,
I think the movie coming out is also going to help with that a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been multiple movies though with Marilyn Monroe because Michelle Williams played her like semi recently.
My Weekend
Yeah,
with
my
Marilyn.
week with
Yeah.
Marilyn. Yeah,
Oh, My Week with Marilyn. I always say that title wrong.
you're
I'm
close.
gonna lose.
We get you.
I'm going to lose a Warzone match because of that. I swear to God. But Jeff, what are your thoughts on this Elton John classic?
So I just saw Elton John on his Farewell Yellow Brick Road tour. Just
You were
this past
there?
weekend. Yeah, at MetLife.
Oh, at MetLife. Okay, I was at Citizens Bank Park. So
Okay, I was gonna go to that one, but tickets were crazy expensive for that one. But I went to MetLife though.
I got a
But
discount
I was
code.
gonna say, first of all, incredible. He was
Incredible.
Absolutely incredible show. But I agree though. This isn't one of his best songs. It's a good song, but it's not one of his best. It's a good composition, especially for piano, and the voice complements the composition. The lyrics complement the composition. It's just not one of his most like singable in my eyes. Like I like when you think of like a classic Elton John song or even like more like ballady, I'd go Your Song before I'd go Candle in the Wind. But even then, that like Your Song's not my favorite from him. But what I love the most with Candle in the Wind, though, is the message and kind of like how it permeates with a lot of like remembrance ballads nowadays. You know, kind of like, you know, the light dies, but, you know, the memory still, you know, still lives on. You know, you're more than just the flame. You're more than just that, you know, and that has stuck with a lot with songs nowadays. So he kind of started it in a way, but I don't know, like not my favorite Elton song, but it's a good Elton song.
Yeah. I'm okay with it falling off the list, but I'm glad that it was there to begin with.
Be happy that it happened. Not that it
yeah. So moving on to the final song in this section of the list, La Bamba by Richie Valens. I'm going to start with this one. I thought that this song was faster for some reason. I hear all of the other covers of it and how they're like a little bit more up tempo. And then I re-listened to this one again, and I was like, oh, this is not nearly as fast as I remember it to be, and I kind of like that actually, because you get the feel of the rhythm a little bit more, and let's just say it, he was a great singer. Like he had a lot of power and precision in his voice. Of course, there's that language barrier. Because unfortunately, I don't speak that much Spanish. I speak maybe like 4 sentences, and one of them is "Where's may I go to the bathroom?" Um, and but there's a reason that this song has permeated American pop culture as well. Brooklyn, what do you think about this one?
I was actually I had actually an incredible segue because I was going to reference that this should be on the list still for the reason like it's part of the day the music died. Although a lot of people, I think even Don McLean himself tends to lean more towards Buddy Holly. I think Richie Valens is the better artist as opposed to Buddy Holly.
I forgot about your Buddy Holly hate.
That'll Be the Day is just
an incredible song. You're right.
No, La Bamba is much better. Is much better. But I like the vibe to it. You are right, Andrew, in that it is much slower and that it has progressively kind of just got faster. I don't know if that's just people wanting to, like, I guess, emphasize the Latin vibes of it. But I kind of like that controlled tempo in the original. There is one thing though. At the end, I think it's like when they add in the wood blocks, he does something with the words where it's like just like a syllable offbeat, like a quarter something offbeat, and it's similar to kind of like Master of Puppets, where it just throws you off a little bit, but not enough to be like, okay, it takes me away from the song completely.
And Jeff, what are your thoughts on this song?
I mean, like, I think we can agree with everybody. We got introduced to the song from the movie. You know, like this is how I got introduced.
Never seen
really,
it.
really.
Yeah.
Okay.
Never seen La Bamba yet.
La Bamba was like the classic dad movie for me. You know, like it was one I'm like, I don't want to watch this dad. This movie looks stupid. And now I'm like, yeah, this is a dad movie because dad bod and everything. But kind of like segging back, you know, like when we talked about like the day the music died, you know, when you have Richie and Buddy and the Big Bopper. Richie to me was always the one that had the most potential. The one that he was rock and roll's biggest what if in my eyes. You know, it's like what if we just had a little bit more of him? How would he have had an impact there? Because he was trying to bridge that gap of classic Spanish songs into mainstream rock and roll, which was a huge risk because they showed in the movie they didn't want to offend people. This was a big risk of a song, but it worked. And that's why I think people like really latch onto it and why people wanted to see more of what he could do, because he shows that he has good rhythm. He has a good voice. Again, just rock and roll's biggest what if in my eyes. I would have loved to have seen where his career would have went, but you know, sadly what happened. But I think this should have been respected more and definitely should have been back on the list. You know, because when you think of those three, this is the song you instantly think of with Richie Valens.
I think that's a really good point. Actually, I've never thought about the whole what if scenario with him, because you're right saying that there was a lot of potential behind him, and it's sad to see that, you know, never been able to be fully reached. But with that being said, we have reached the end of this section of the list. So, Jeff, we like to ask the panel 3 questions about the section that we just talked about. The first one being, which of these songs should have never made the list to even begin with?
Should have never made the list.
To begin with, yeah.
I got the list up right now. I think it's a pretty easy one for me. I would probably go The Great Pretender from the Platters. Like it was just it's a fine doo-wop song, but it's not anything I would consider to be like a top 500 song in my eyes.
And I'm actually going to second you. I think that this is the pick. While I respect the song and I think that it's good, to have been on the top 500 to even begin with is a little bit of a stretch, even though I did say it would like scrape the bottom if it did. What about you, Brooklyn? What would your choice be?
I kind of revealed my hand earlier, but The Locomotion is still an awful song.
I can respect it though. I can respect your decision, but it's not that bad.
I don't. I can't. So Jeff, which one of these songs should be put back on the official list?
I mean, I showed my hand earlier on the third song. It's going to be What a Wonderful World from Sam Cooke. You know, this is one of those songs where it's like, you wish you wrote this song. You wish you had that voice. This song is perfect in every aspect of being. It's so simple, but it's simple works, you know, and it's just, this is the father of soul, people, you know, deal with it.
Yeah. Brooklyn, which of these songs do you think should be put back on the list?
I'm torn between 2. Between 3, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Another Brick in the Wall is in consideration. White Room is in consideration. No, actually, you know what? Yeah. I was gonna go with How Deep Is Your Love, but I still think it's White Room. White Room, I think kind of needs to be there.
Respect.
Yeah, I agree. White Room is one of the ones that I was thinking of because it's also in my top 100 personally. But I think that the song that would as the technically the best song of the group. And I'm surprising myself with this because it's not what I was picking originally. But when the more we talked about it, the more I realized that Tears in Heaven is just an expertly crafted piece. Just like from the writing to the performance to the production. Um, it's genuinely a masterpiece of emotion. Um, so not what I was expecting to pick when I first started. I was expecting to pick White Room, but Tears in Heaven is my pick. And so we've discovered that sometimes the song that we think is the most deserving of being put back onto the list is not necessarily our favorite song from that section. So, Jeff, is the song that you picked your personal favorite song on this list? And if not, what is it?
Man, that's tough. Because there's a lot of good stuff on here, but as far as like the most replayable, I think I'd probably still stick with What a Wonderful World. That's probably the most playable. White Room is like this close. It's a game of inches there, but you know, I mean, I'd go with I'd say in any given day, White Room or What a Wonderful World or Wonderful World would be in contention there.
Yeah, I think those are both two great choices. Brooklyn, what about you?
I still think Tears in Heaven is my favorite, but I still think that I just go with White Room as the song that needs to be on there. There is still there's more that I attach to in Tears in Heaven, but in terms of like a musical and lyrical quality, White Room has to be
And for me, I'm kind of split between three. White Room being one of them. The other ones being Watching the Detectives and Nowhere to Run. Um, I think if I had to pick the song and The Letter by the Box Tops. I think if I picked the one that I would probably listen to the most often on repeat, um, I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go with this one. I'm gonna go with Watching the Detectives, by Elvis Costello. I think it's the one that I get drawn to the most because of the world and the visuals and the instrumentation, and just the fact that Elvis Costello is dope. Um, but with that being said, Jeff, thank you so much for joining us. We love having you on. You're very
Love being
knowledgeable
on
and you're
here.
very passionate. Um, we would love to have you back if we ever do another
Jeff
episode.
is one of the OGs of the music neck of the woods. So we will always
Because in this whole realm of everybody loving movies, there weren't many music aficionados. Brooklyn was one of the few ones that I could connect to with this. Bar easily joined that camaraderie there. So
what a time to be alive.
Yeah, man, I love this world. Not
What
even this country. I love this world. Yes.
All right. So, with that being said, thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you all so much for joining us on this episode. Tune in next week where we cover more songs that fell off the Stones list. But for Jeff Varju, for Brooklyn Vale, and for myself, Andrew James Barr, thank you so much for watching and keep on rocking.